This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Jack Threads. Coming up on Destructoid, EVO is over and we recap the winners. Assassin's Creed is getting a movie and the movie is getting a major star, and we preview San Diego Comic-Con 2012. Get the full story right now, right here on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Monday, Max.
Happy Monday, Tara. Ask me what I did with my weekend.
What did you do?
What did you do with the weekend? I went to the zoo and I played with baby penguins with Anthony, and you weren't there.
I know! That was so cool. I can't believe you posted pictures of that on Twitter.
In your face.
I freaking hate you right now.
I played with baby penguins.
Go
anyway,
talk about video games.
Let's get into the news. As I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware, the hypest event of the year was held this weekend, and I'm talking, of course, about EVO, or the Evolution Championship Series, which is, of course, the premier fighting game tournament held in the United States. Now, whether or not you're actually into esports as a thing that is a thing, you've got to admit that it is pretty cool to see a bunch of nerds flood into Las Vegas and turn Caesar's Palace into a big arcade, and regardless of whether or not fighting games fit your definition of sports, there's really no denying that these guys are amazing at pushing buttons very, very fast. So, probably the biggest, most hyped match was Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and the champion was WW Infiltration, who was playing with Akuma. Call CC Filipino Champ came in first on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, playing with Magneto, Dormammu, and Dr. Doom. Kafel Id Madkov proved himself a literal king of the fighters in King of the Fighters 13, which he won with Duolon, Chin, and Kim. Mortal Kombat 9's new champion is EMP Perfect Legend, playing with Kung Lao, and the winner of the Soul Calibur 5 tournament was Shining Dekopan, who played with Tira. You know, if there's one thing that's more difficult than pronouncing foreign names, it's pronouncing gamer handles. I know that some of the letters in there were like acronyms for fighting game clans or something, but...
Are we using hype as an adjective now?
Hype is a hyping hype word.
Okay, I'm
hype.
gonna have to keep that in mind. I'm not up with the nomenclature of the kids
I hope everybody
days.
had fun with EVO. It's cool.
Yes.
Yeah, people get
Lots
mad
of people
about
talking about that this weekend.
People get mad about the whole, like, is it really sports? And it's like, who cares? They're good at Street Fighter.
Who cares?
You know, put your quarters on top of the machine.
So moving along, Ubisoft has not yet given up on their plans for several thousand movie/video game tie-ins, and they've just signed on a major actor to play the lead in the upcoming Assassin's Creed movie. Yes, Michael Fassbender, pictured here with creepy neck tattoos, is a name you might be familiar with. He played Magneto in X-Men First Class. He also had a small role in Prometheus, which I still haven't seen yet, so if you give me spoilers, I will kill you. And our producer, Zach, tells me that you can actually see his penis in the 2011 film Shame, which I will be renting this evening. So he's been around for a while, and now he's going to be playing the role of Desmond Miles in the film adaptation of Assassin's Creed. And he's also going to be co-producing it through his own production company, DMC Film. Now, needless to say, if it wasn't for my Jake Gyllenhaal Google alert, I probably wouldn't have even remembered that Hollywood made a film based on the Prince of Persia franchise. So why don't we jog our collective memories with a quick recap of Ubisoft's film efforts up until now. Now, it started in 2010, obviously, when Prince of Persia: Sands of Time came out in theaters. Total box office failure. Ubisoft pretty much hung their head in shame. Although the video game tie-in they made with that was actually not nearly as bad as the film. Moving along to 2011, Ubisoft basically says, hey, wait a second, we actually can make money with movie game tie-ins. We just need to reclaim creative control. So they create this company, Ubisoft Motion Pictures, like with the sole intent of just making films based on Ubisoft franchises, the first of which is obviously Assassin's Creed. So now it's 2012, they've signed on this lead actor and co-producer for the film, and they still have no idea what it's actually going to be about because they haven't hired a writer or a director for it yet. Seems promising though. But they do have some other projects in the works already. Apparently Nickelodeon is going to be airing an animated TV series based on the Raving Rabbids franchise.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has said that he wants to make film adaptations of some of the Tom Clancy games, namely Splinter Cell and Ghost Recon. Can't really imagine a film based on those. I mean, I can, but I don't know if I'd want to watch it.
I think that movies based on video games are just kind of dumb to begin with, but it is.
Although, if they had Sam Fisher played by a young George Clooney, I think I'd be okay with that.
You know, they made Tom Clancy movies before they made Tom Clancy games.
No.
Just throwing that out there.
Next you're going to tell me there's a book? Come on, get with it.
On Friday's show, we reported on how Sony was teasing the upcoming announcement of 2 new characters in their title, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. That's the game that's a totally original idea and doesn't share any similarities with any popular Nintendo franchises. Anyway, I looked through the comments, and it seems like most of you guys were expecting these 2 new characters to be either Jack from Jak and Daxter, Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank, or Crash Bandicoot from that bus stop he's been sleeping on ever since Sony stopped using him in commercials.
Poor guy.
Unfortunately, life is full of disappointments, as Crash knows, and those 2 big question marks were for Heihachi, who gamers might recognize as that one guy from Tekken with the crazy hair who does martial arts, and Toru Inu, who gamers might not recognize as Sony's Japanese cat mascot. He's a cat, that's what he is. I was curious about Toru Inu, so I did some internet research and I found out a few fun facts about Toru. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name again. Its birthday is May 6th. Its favorite foods are chotoro tuna and natto rolls. It dislikes being put in a cardboard box.
Me too.
It is 1 meter tall, and its gender is listed as possibly male. You know, because that really narrows things down a lot. I don't know how you know somebody's birthday height and favorite foods, their stance on cardboard boxes, but you never really kind of nail down the gender. So get it together, Sony. Get your cat sexed. Also shown was Chop Chop Master Onion's Dojo, which is the new level for All-Stars Battle Royale, and it recreates the famous level from Parappa the Rapper with the addition of a mech from Killzone in the background. While players fight in this stage, a giant Chop Chop Master Onion will appear to fight the mech, presumably with some combination of kicking, punching, chopping, blocking, ducking, jumping, turning, and of course, posing. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is slated for a late October release on PS3 and Vita between the 23rd and 26th, depending on where you live in the world, and we're probably going to see a lot more characters unveiled by then.
No
Yeah, I think so. Probably going to have some other ones in
Actually,
there.
we will be discussing that in the second half of the show, but first, I want to talk about Borderlands.
Oh, okay, fine.
I want to talk about that every show.
Okay.
Customization is apparently something that Gearbox is really hammering into people with Borderlands 2. And to that end, they've decided to reward all of the original Borderlands players with some special goodies. So anyone able to import their save file from the first game, either on Xbox, PS3, or PC, anyone will work. You automatically become part of the Vault Veterans Rewards program, which is basically just a fancy way of saying you get some exclusive customization elements like these heads and skins. Notice it says heads and not helmets, as Maya seems to be the only one who did not get a helmet. In fact, the only really change they made with her, it looks like, is they gave her shorter hair and like 90s goggles, neither of which really works for her coloring, so I don't know. I might not be importing my save file. Either way, I'm actually going to be playing Borderlands 2 like right after this taping, like an hour from now, with Anthony Carboni. We're going to be seeing some super top secret stuff that I can't talk about right now or I will get fired. And Anthony's actually going to be interviewing the CEO of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford. That should be interesting. So we'll have videos up of that, as well as our hands-on impressions over on youtube.com/rev3games. That'll be later in the week. I'm also going to be talking about my experience with it on our live show on Friday, so be there. 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. YouTube.com/Geektoid.
Very exciting.
I'm so excited for Borderlands 2.
That's good. I'm gonna go and write up the episode description for this episode.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, let's take a word from our sponsor.
Let's do that.
Guys, let's face it, paying full price for clothes is stupid and stealing them is illegal, so really the only logical alternative is Jack Threads. Jack Threads serves up fashionable clothes for hip young people at brands up to 80% off retail price every day. From fancy dapper blazers by General Assembly to brightly colored PF Flyers high tops, Jack Threads has a great selection of clothes that you would want to wear at prices you'd be totally okay paying. If you're cool on clothes, they've got a ton of neat stuff like hand grenade coin banks, skull-shaped pillows, and I swear I'm not making this up, a poster of Air Bud playing basketball against Kazam.
Wow.
It's actually under home decor in the accessories section right now.
Good find.
So go check that out. Normally there's a wait list to join, but if you head to jackthreads.com/destruct right now, you can go check it out. It is free to sign up, and every referral helps us support this show. Again, that is jackthreads.com/destruct.
Got some good looking stuff on there.
Yeah.
Back to the show. So this week is Comic-Con, the annual gathering of 125,000 nerds all crowded together in a single convention center in San Diego in July in the middle of a nationwide heat wave.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Max and I will not be there, fortunately, but there is a decent amount of games being shown off this year, and we kind of wanted to run some of them down for you, see what you can expect to see news-wise later in the week and next week. Let's start with Nintendo, because this is actually going to be the first time that the public will get to see and play with the new 3DS XL. They're going to have a Nintendo gaming lounge set up right next to the convention center at the Marriott, where they're going to be showing off some new 3DS games. I think I got to check them all out a couple of weeks ago. No Wii U, interestingly enough. I guess they decided people don't really care about that anymore or something. I don't know.
They're probably redesigning it or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Sony, on the other hand, is showing off tons of stuff, so any attendees who feel like waiting in line for several hours will be able to get hands-on time with a bunch of PS3 and Vita games. They've got Sly Cooper, Thieves of Time, Jet Set Radio, Guacamelee, tons of stuff.
Check out Guacamelee.
Yes.
Guacamelee's rad.
And they've also got a pretty big panel presence, since that's kind of a big thing at Comic-Con. Ellen Page is going to be speaking at the Beyond Two Souls panel on Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday, they've got panels for The Last of Us and The Unfinished Swan, which is a really interesting looking game, followed by the PlayStation All-Stars panel on Sunday, where they're going to be really revealing the 2 new fighters, like you said. And then other panels that are worth talking about. Epic Games is going to be hosting a panel on Thursday where they'll be showing off their new game Fortnite, which you might recall they showed that off, or they announced it at the VGAs last year, I think. Still a complete mystery to me. The trailer's not descriptive at all, so it'll be interesting to see how that is.
Or as I like to call it, Tuesday night in my living room when I build a fort. Anyway, I know this might be a little bit weird for some people to cope with, but there will be some comic book companies at Comic-Con. Marvel is riding high right now ever since the Avengers broke into the box office and took all of its money. So it's no surprise they've got a strong presence at Comic-Con this year. Marvel actually has a whole panel devoted to video games, which is taking place on Saturday. They've teased that they'll be unveiling a new project that's being done in collaboration with Activision and High Moon Studios, which are the guys behind the recent Transformers War 4 and Fall of Cybertron games. And guys, it's very possible that Hitmonkey will be the star of that game. A teaser image showed up on hitmonkeygame.com stating that shit just got bananas and the hit begins in 2013. Hitmonkey, if you're unfamiliar, first showed up in a few issues of Deadpool from I think 2010, pretty recently. He is a monkey trained in the art of assassination, and he's got a hit list comprised entirely of hitmen, because he wants to kill the hitman. If that sounds stupid, it's because it is, and I'm really excited to find out more about it, because that should be interesting. In other Marvel news, Marvel Heroes will be playable at Comic-Con. That is the upcoming free-to-play MMORPG from Gazillion Studios. It looks like Diablo with Marvel Heroes, and the more I see of it, the more I want to play it very badly, because it actually looks kind of cool. So I want to. What are you laughing
like
at?
Anybody at Comic-Con cares about Marvel. I want to know about them sleeping dogs. Like, how sleepy are
I don't want
they?
to live on this planet anymore.
There's no way of
Tell us
knowing.
about the dogs.
I am. So Square-Enix actually has a pretty big booth this year. Pretty solid lineup, I'd say. They're going to be showing off Sleeping Dogs, obviously. Hitman is another game. Tomb Raider, this is going to be the first time non-media will get to play it. I still haven't even played it, so you're steps ahead of me if you're going to Comic-Con. They're also scheduled for a couple Tomb Raider panels and a Lara Croft look-alike contest, the results of which should be quite interesting, I'm sure. And then over at the Activision booth, they're going to be showing off the new Walking Dead first-person shooter. Won't be playable, but the first 100 people who pre-order the game at their booth will get this set of ears on a string, or as Activision refers to it, an extremely limited edition version of Daryl's Walker Ears necklace. Not only would that not entice me if I was at Comic-Con, I would actively avoid their booth.
Hey, nerds.
Those things are terrifying.
Nerds, guess what? If you do this thing we want you to do, we'll give you this thing that makes you seem weird to other people.
Yeah.
I don't know, ears on a string.
As
That's
if
a
we
little bit
need
creepy.
more help.
So Halo fans will be happy to know that 343 Industries is going to have Halo 4's Spartan Ops playable next week, which is their 10-week-long episodic co-op campaign that'll keep players involved even after they finish the main story or something. I hear good buzz for Halo 4, so check that out if you're there. That should be good. Last but not least, Capcom will be at Comic-Con showing off the new Devil May Cry DMC, Lost Planet 3, Resident Evil 6, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken on the Vita. Personally, I really recommend checking out Lost Planet 3. I really like that at E3. I thought it was neat. You get the big bugs and the robots, and DMC looks cool too, but the robots, guys.
The robots.
Get in there.
Get in there.
Get at them.
So that's Comic-Con wrap-up.
Yeah.
Anthony will be there, not doing anything for Red 3 Games. He'll be doing stuff for Sony Signal, but still, I'm sure he'll have plenty of pictures and things. And that is all for our preview episode today. We're going to be back here on Wednesday, but you should go follow us on Twitter in the meantime. I'm Tara Longest. He is Max Scoville, and together we are the Detoid Show. If you're going to Comic-Con, guys, be safe. Stranger danger is a very real thing. And if you see the hairy man in a Princess Leia bikini, don't be alarmed. It's just Anthony. He told me about it. He made the costume himself. Saw him craft it.